Hi, everybody. Welcome to our live tour this morning. It is a big day here in Durham because we are so excited to say that we actually have a dorm room to show you all today. So our tour guide today, her name is Sabrina. She's a first year student here on campus. Her and Laura, who's actually filming our tour today, are going to join us in just a little bit. But to introduce myself, my name's Nicole. I'm a junior here at UNH. I'm a neuroscience and behavior major with a sustainability minor, and I'm also a pre-med student. I'm originally from outside of Philadelphia, and I'm so excited to be here today. Just a few notes about what we're going to be up to today. So it's going to be an hour-long walking tour. And like I said, our tour guide and Laura are going to join us from on campus just in a few minutes, and they'll be able to walk around, show us campus. We're going to see a dorm room today. We're going to see the inside of our rec center and the inside of an academic building. So a lot of really good stuff going on today. But I'm going to encourage you to please drop in the chat any questions that you might have. So please feel free to ask us any questions about where we are on campus, what are we up to, or just any general questions you have about college in general. A really awesome time about this time of the year as a tour guide is that a lot of the students that we get attending these virtual events and also coming onto campus are admitted students. And you guys always have the most awesome questions because you're really dialed into what you need out of your college experience. So please use this time to ask us any and all questions that you need to. We are all volunteers, so we're not being paid to tell you anything, and we love answering your questions. So please drop those in the chat whenever you have a second or whenever you think of something that you want to talk about for sure. So just to frame our tour a little bit more, so we're going to start at our Memorial Union building this morning. So that's like our student union building on campus. And I don't want to steal too much from Sabrina because she's going to talk about it as well. But then we're going to head to Sabrina's dorm. We're going to see our health and wellness building. We're going to see an academic building. Specifically, we're going to go inside our business school. We're going to see Smith Hall, which is home to admissions and other student resources, the rec center. We're going to stop at our famous Wildcat statue. And if we have time, we're going to see another academic building and our library. So a ton of fun stuff slated to get to today. We're going to try to get to everything, but honestly, the most important thing for us is answering all your questions and giving the most information that we possibly can. So I'll just say it one more time, but drop any questions you have in the chat. I can answer them for you, or I can ask Sabrina. I'm really excited to have a first year student with us this morning because she'll be able to give you guys that unique perspective of what you're going to have when you're here on campus. All right.
Yeah.
So, Sabrina, can you hear me okay?
I can. Can you just turn up the volume a little bit? All right. So my name is Sabrina. My pronouns are she, her, hers. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're all good.
Okay. I am a first year, but technically a sophomore. So if you have any questions about like credit transferring, I can definitely help you out with that. And my major is undeclared in the College of Health and Human Services, but I am applying to health management and policy at the end of the semester. So if you have any questions about being undeclared, I can absolutely answer those for you as well. Oh yeah, so this is the Memorial Union building. This is like the heart of campus. A lot of things go on in there. There is the biggest dining hall on campus inside. It's called Holloway Commons, but we call it HOCO. So that's probably why there are a lot of people like coming in and out of the building. There's also a mail room, game rooms, and lots of offices for the 250 plus student organizations that we have on campus. So we're gonna walk to my dorm right now so you can see what a dorm looks like. Nicole, where did you live first during your first year?
So I actually lived in Peterson Hall, which is in like what we call the Cirques. The floor below me was all students in my college, which was really interesting. So I got to like meet a lot of people that were in my classes. But I actually was lucky enough to live in a suite my freshman year, which means that I shared my bathroom just with my 4 roommates. So it was definitely a really cool option. That's like depending on if you want to live in a traditional style dorm or if you want to live in a suite style dorm, you can kind of rank all your choices, which Sabrina will talk about too.
Yeah, so I actually lived in a different dorm my first semester. I lived in an all like first year dorm. It was called Lord. And I didn't really think it was like the best fit for me, but luckily for me, UNH is like really, they're really helpful when it comes to moving in between dorms during the school year. So you can either move mid-semester or you can move second semester, which is what I did. And so I picked Fairchild to live in, and I love it so far. All right, we're just gonna go up the stairs.
Do you want to pause for a second and talk about like the buildings that are in the quad that you live in?
Yeah, sure. So this is Fairchild. This is the international dorm on campus. So I don't know what the percentage is, but a lot of the international students actually live here. And then across the way, this is like the quad, I guess. It's like the lawn. People just hang out on the lawn. That's why there's a whole bunch of lawn chairs. Across the lawn, I guess, there's Mills Hall, which is suite style dorms. I'm actually living there next year, so I'm super excited. And then that is Alexander across the way. That is an all freshman dorm as well. It's also the gender inclusive dorm building on campus. And yeah, so I'm gonna swipe in. UNH has this like feature where only the people that are living in this dorm can swipe into this building. So, all right. So we're currently on the first floor, and I'm just gonna show you like the kitchen and like the vending machine. Enough to have right now because of COVID, but obviously COVID, it's like super big and really convenient. There's two stoves or two ovens and a stove, a really big fridge, a KitchenAid, a sink. This is where we do our dishes, like these two sinks right here. And like a whole bunch of just bowls and stuff that we could use. I don't know if you want to like get over here. And then across the way are the vending machines. The cool thing about the vending machines on campus, if you do have dining dollars, the vending machines will take your dining dollars, which is super convenient because I don't have to take it out of my bank account. And we're gonna go to my room, which is gonna be that way. So Nicole, we're gonna go upstairs. So maybe talk about your experience with your roommates.
Sure. You guys are cutting out a little bit with connection. So I'll try to talk, and maybe once you get into your room, you'll have a little bit better of internet connection. But so actually, this is interesting. I've never had this experience before, but like Sabrina, I moved dorms my freshman year. So I lived, like I said, in Peterson Hall. First semester, I went random with my roommates, and while like they all got along great, there was a bunch of best friends that I got put with. I actually became good friends with the girls that were across the hall from me. So my RA helped me, and I dragged my stuff right across the hall, and second semester was able to live with them. But I will turn it back to Sabrina as we were going into her dorm room.
Okay, so a couple of unique things about UNH, there's like different styles. Oh, do you have to? No, you're good. You can go. So for me in my other dorm, I had like a keypad with like a combination that I had to put in to get into my room. But here you have a key. Fortunately, my roommate left it unlocked for me, but this is what my key looks like. And so you just put it in here and then twist it and you can unlock it, but we can just go right on. So this is my room. The right side is my side, and then the left side is my roommate's side. So this dorm is a traditional double style dorm. So the unique thing, I guess, like the cool thing about Fairchild is that we have like double closets, so they pull out. Luckily, my roommate is my cousin, so there really are no boundaries to our closet. But like this is her like laundry side. We kind of split it like down the middle. I have my cleaning supplies up there, and we put these like command hooks on the side. Command hooks will be your best friend in college. I'm just telling you right now. So, and then behind here, we have a microwave and a mini fridge, which I highly recommend. There are like, you can use in Fairchild the microwave downstairs, but it's just a lot more convenient to have it in your room. So if you can get a microwave, I would definitely get one. Over here, we kind of just bought this rack for like shower purposes, just so like they can drip somewhere. All of our ramen, the essentials, a lot of cup noodles are in that. right there. And then this is my desk right here. So like this one is kind of messy. So like this one has like all my school supplies. This one just has like scissors and like pictures and stuff like that, and more command hooks. And this one's my miscellaneous drawer. So I kind of just throw a lot of stuff in there. And on my desk, I have like a calendar, but I haven't touched it in a while, so I just ignore that. I have books that I have yet to read because I have no time because I'm in college. And I have my planner, which I actually use. So all the essentials really. And then on top of here, I just have kind of like a little home sweet home type thing. And then I have like Buddha and Ganesh, and because I'm Hindu, so my mom wanted me to bring it to college for good luck. And so my desk doesn't have a desk lamp in it. It just like didn't work, but I can show you what a desk lamp is supposed to look like. So these desks usually, if you have like a top compartment, there is a light switch inside of the desk. So as you can see, it like lights up, but mine, like they couldn't fix it. So that's fine. They gave me a lamp to replace it. So I guess that works. And then over here, so it really depends on where you live, but you can loft your bed. So I lofted it enough where I could put my dresser under here. So it like just saves a lot of room. There wasn't really anywhere else that I could put my dresser. But you can also loft it like all the way up here and then put your desk and your dresser underneath. That's something that a lot of people do. But I do know like in Christensen and Williamson, they don't allow you to loft your beds. You can't really move any of the furniture. So people buy bed risers. So definitely look into that when you pick dorms anywhere. Not even just at UNH, anywhere. Any questions about like housing so far?
We haven't gotten any so far, but I will say like they're twin size beds, so that's like pretty typical. I think pretty much every college student gets
Yeah.
that. Sabrina, what was the one thing that like you didn't pack when you went to college that you wish you did and you had to go buy?
Dish soap. I completely forgot that I had to do dishes in college. And I have like a lot of dishes. Like I brought a lot of bowls from Target because they were like 33 cents there. So if you need plastic bowls, I would get them from there. And I didn't buy dish soap. So I actually had to go to Hannaford, which is actually right across the way, and buy dish soap. So that was unfortunate and kind of a wake up call because like college equals adulting, and I just didn't really put that together yet. So
personally, I realized when I ran out of like shampoo and then I had to go walk to the food store and buy it. That was my wake up to adulting moment personally.
yeah, I completely understand that. So some features about Fairchild that I kind of brag about. So we have an elevator, which, oh my gosh, let me just tell you, in my old dorm, Lord, they didn't have an elevator and I lived on the top floor, which is the third floor. And those stairs killed me. So when I moved to Fairchild and they had an elevator, I used it to go to the second floor, and I'm on the third floor. So that's what that's turned into. And Fairchild actually also has AC. Not all the dorms at UNH have AC, but I was lucky enough to have AC here, and it's really handy. And the heat works. Let me just tell you, that's why the window's open. The heat works very well. So, yeah, we had the window open like always.
So Sabrina, we have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
So the first one, someone asked if you feel comfortable in your room. Do you feel like there's enough space? And also, if you could talk about dorm activities.
Yeah. So I feel comfortable in my room. Like I said, I am living with my cousin. So we kind of already have that bond. But in my last dorm, my roommate and I were pretty close. We just like figured out we lived differently, which is why I moved out. Like it wasn't no hard feelings or anything. But we lived very comfortably in the other dorm too. We both have our separate spaces. Like I don't know if you can see, like this is my desk over here and kind of like my side, I guess. And then this side, she has her own stuff going on. So the way that we connect, we share a mini fridge and we also share a microwave. And this little thing right here, like I guess it's like split a little bit. I just put my drinks there from on my bed. So I'm personally comfortable, but I think you'll get to know your roommate. Like anywhere, you'll just get to know them. And so I was in my old dorm, I was hall president. So we put on a lot of events and stuff like that. So when I say hall president, we have this thing called hall council, and you can be like secretary or president, VP, and you pretty much just run for the positions. And they put on events. and the RAs also put on events. So we have resident assistants, and they put on a couple events a week, and that can range from like coloring to like I don't know, let me just think. Oh, like playing like soccer outside. So just it really ranges. Tomorrow, Hall Council actually is putting on a like April Fool's type event thing. They bought cupcakes from a local bakery, and I have no idea what they look like. And they're also doing like barbecues tomorrow as well. So that's pretty cool. I'm always down for some free food. And something that Fairchild also has, we have like, I don't remember what they're called, Fairchild dollars. So if you're just active in the dorm, you'll get money, like Fairchild dollars, and you can redeem that for like Fairchild merch, which I think is super cool. I haven't spent any yet. So yeah, that's the events that they put on inside the dorms.
So you actually have like a bunch of questions, so I'll just keep going.
Okay.
So someone asked if you have Wi-Fi and Ethernet in each room, and also if they should bring a printer.
Yeah, so my room doesn't have like the physical box on the ceiling. I think that's what they're asking. But the person below me, who's also my cousin, has one. So it kind of like goes through the floor, if that makes sense. So because they have one, we also get really good internet upstairs. Um, I think that's all, right? Like there's internet. The internet's pretty good here. You get like there's UNH Secure and then EduRoam or whatever it's called, and then there's like UNH Guest. So when you're a UNH student, you get your own login, and that login works very well with the internet. And printer wise, so
Yeah.
the library actually has printers. So you don't necessarily need to buy a printer, but I do know people that buy it out of convenience, but it's not like a necessity. You don't have to buy a printer. I don't have one personally, so if I need to print something, like I'll go to the library. Also, like I haven't had to do any printing because everything is just submitted online. Teachers can't take like physical work right now. So I'm a first year student. I don't have experience with printers, so I can't really answer that question as well as I would want to. But do you have an experience with the printers in the library, Nicole?
Yeah, so I'm a junior. I've never had a printer in my own room, but I've always just printed on campus, and you use your CATS cache that Sabrina was talking about. That's on your UNH ID, and you can just swipe it. There's printers in the library, like Sabrina said, and also around campus at a bunch of the academic buildings. So it's really accessible. I personally have had to print a bunch just because for all my labs, I have to print stuff to bring into the lab with me. And I've always like printed on campus and never had an issue. It's definitely a convenient thing if you can have your own printer. Personally, printers never worked for me, and I didn't want to pay for like ink and stuff. So printing on campus is super easy. Um, so someone else asked, are you allowed to order and buy things online and have them shipped to UNH?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was talking about the mailroom earlier. So you will get your own it's called Granite Square Station. So you get your own like PO box type thing, and so I have like two different addresses on my Amazon thing. It's my home address and then my UNH address, and they'll give you like the address, and then it just ships to the mailroom right in the MUB, and then you just go pick it up and swipe your ID, and you'll get it.
Yeah,
It's
you
super
also get
easy.
an email when it arrives, which is so convenient because now
Yeah.
that I live off campus, I'm like constantly checking the mailbox where when you live on campus, they just email you and they're like, hey, like you got mail. And it's so fun. You can go and grab it.
Yeah.
And you'll have that same mailbox as long as you live on campus as well. Um, okay, so we still have a bunch.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can you choose your dorm as a freshman?
Yeah, absolutely. So you'll go through the same housing process as every other upperclassman does. So upperclassmen, because like I think the commitment date is like May 1st. So upperclassmen does all their housing stuff in March compared to first year students. But the thing with UNH, we do have 4 freshman dorms, and 25% of all housing is reserved for first year students. So it's not like you have no chance of getting into like a dorm that a lot of upperclassmen live in. I mean, it's pretty hard to get into the mills, but that's for everybody. So if you're trying to go for the mills for your first year, which is the suites, I just wish you luck. But Nicole did say she lived in a suite her first year, so it's not impossible.
Yeah, if you want to live in a suite freshman year, the Cirques, which are Peterson, Holland, and Handler, are your options. The mills are actually the only dorm that first year students can't live in. So if you want suite style, those are your three: Peterson, Holland, and Handler. Like Sabrina said, it is a little bit harder to get a suite just because all the upperclassmen want them, but it is possible. I had one. Um, so, okay, next question. Sabrina, someone wants to know, should they bring a TV?
Yeah, well, I mean, it really just depends. So luckily for UNH, so UNH students have free access to Xfinity, or not free, it's included in your tuition. You get Xfinity and HBO Max. So if that's something that you're into, you can plug your TV in, and then if you have like a Roku or a smart TV, there's a place to, or just a regular TV, there's a place to plug in your thingy. I don't know what it's called, and you'll get access to like cable, and you can get like Xfinity channels for like, I guess free, but it's included in your tuition. And you can also get like student discounts on a lot of services that you usually wouldn't get student discounts on, obviously. I do know people that have TVs, like they bring their PlayStations or Xboxes on campus, and you can connect to the internet with those things. You just have to go through like a different process with that. But the IT, with like the IT people here, would definitely help you with that. Like that's not something to worry about. I just here the room isn't set up for a TV because we don't have a TV. But if I were to do that, I definitely lock my bed and then put like my dresser and then put my TV on top of my dresser and then my desk somewhere else. So it's absolutely possible.
Yeah, I had a friend freshman year who had a TV and they did exactly what you said. They put it under their lofted bed and then they had
Yeah,
like a little like couch that would like face the TV.
yeah.
So are there certain restrictions on leaving campus? Do you need permission? So I think this might be like a COVID kind of related question.
Yeah, so no is kind of the answer to that. When we were in orange mode, they did like ask us to not leave campus if we didn't have to leave campus just to slow the spread of COVID. But they're not going to stop you from leaving campus. Like that is, you are an adult. That is your own thing. The buses still run even during like orange mode. So orange mode just pretty much means that there are no in-person classes. But they don't strand you on campus. You can leave whenever. The buses still run. They just ask you to be more careful.
So someone wants to know if they apply for a single year as a first year student, do they have a good chance at getting one?
I know people with singles. So my cousin downstairs actually has a single and a double. So it really all just depends. Like you are not, it's harder to get a single because so many people want a single, but it's not impossible. Um, I know like each dorm has like a specific amount of single rooms that they have, and then if they have extra space, you can get like a single and a double room if your roommate like ends up not coming to campus. I think that's all like, I can talk about singles. I really
Yeah,
don't know. I
it is
wasn't ever in a
possible.
single.
It's just unlikely. Is like
Yeah,
by far and wide the most popular option for first year students is a double room. So it is possible that you get a single. It's just the most likely thing is that you get a double. Um, how did you get a roommate and do you get to choose your own roommate?
yeah. So, like I said, the first year application for housing is the same as upperclassmen for the most part. I met my first semester roommate on Facebook. There is like Facebook groups for each class. So I met her through my Facebook group, and like we met up beforehand because she lived like a town away from me. We got to know each other. So that's how I picked my first semester roommate. And then because our like sleep schedules didn't really match up, I decided it'd be better if I left. So fortunately for me, my cousin that I've known since birth goes to UNH as well, and she was in a single. I guess she was living alone in a double. So she just pulled me in, and now I'm here. So it really all just depends. Like it can go either way. If you go random, it could not work out, or if you go and find a Facebook friend, it could work out or it couldn't work out. There's really just like no good formula to roommates, if that makes any sense.
That is definitely a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
So I don't have any other questions right now. I'll definitely stop you if I
Okay.
get some. But in the meantime, do you want to show us like where your bathroom is and also
Yeah.
maybe like a study lounge in your building?
Yeah, of course. So go right out the door. So for me, this floor is co-ed. So my RA is a guy, and then the person like over here, they're girls. So I am in a co-ed building, but we do have gender inclusive bathrooms on the first floor. But for me, I use the women's bathroom, And the cool feature about this bathroom is that there is a stall in here that's like bathroom, sink, and shower. This is like the accessible shower, but if nobody's using it, I think I use it sometimes. And then there's 2 stalls and then 2 showers. What the showers look like, so you can flip this light switch on. There's a light that goes in there, and then there's like a shower curtain, and then like a door to close. A tip that I have: bring shower shoes. You do not want to put your feet on that, because that is like generations of just feet on the shower floor.
And I would
connection
say
okay in here?
personally that like the bathroom that Sabrina's showing right now is definitely like a very typical bathroom for like on the UNH campus. Like the quality, the size, where you might just have more stalls if your bathroom is servicing more people, but that definitely is like a very like typical style.
Yeah. Is the connection good in here?
Yep, you're doing good right now.
Okay. So this is the 3rd floor lounge. So there's a lounge on every floor. I forgot to show everybody the 1st floor lounge. Yeah, but we can just show it like as we're coming back down. So this is the 3rd floor lounge. Each floor in Fairchild has its own lounge. So we have sanitizing wipes to wipe down all your furniture before and after. We have a whiteboard, so if you have any like group activities or just want a whiteboard to do work on, we have that. And the view is really nice too. Like it overlooks the fields and everything, not the fields, the grass, the lawn, and the suites right across the way. And I'm gonna show you the elevator, and then I'll show you the 1st floor lounge, which is like the biggest lounge with like pool table and stuff like that. So,
what's your favorite social that you've been to in your dorm?
It's probably, I haven't had time to go to any socials in this dorm, but my favorite social in my other dorm, we had like a Halloween type party. Obviously COVID safe. Each room actually has a capacity. So if we look over here, it says that the maximum room capacity in this lounge is 4 people. In the lounge downstairs, it's 25 people. So we were able to host a social where it was like just enough people could go and be comfortable, and people could also go in and out. And it was enough space to space everybody out pretty good. And right here, this is the elevator. You can go up or down. Fairchild has 4 floors. We're on the 3rd floor. And I'm going to show you the 1st floor lounge. We can go this way. To our left is the men's bathroom. And there's also like rooms in the hallway, like to our left and right. So it's not just like this main hallway right here.
Have you been able to like meet a lot of the people that live on your floor or in your dorm?
Yeah, so I think one of the best advice that I could give anybody is to leave your door open like the first couple days, because people will just walk in and everybody's kind of in the same boat and wants to meet new people. So when you leave your door open, it's definitely inviting. And the cool thing about UNH is that 1st years can actually come in. Oh, this is a laundry room. Sorry. We have laundry rooms inside the dorms, by the way. So like you don't have to like walk.
Yeah, there's laundry in every single dorm.
So how this works, you swipe your card and then you like pick a washer and dryer. They all have like numbers and stuff like that on it. And then you just swipe it and then you put it in for however long. What was I saying?
You were talking about meeting people in your dorm.
Oh yeah. So UNH, I don't know what the official week is called, but 1st years can move like 3 to 4 days earlier than all the upperclassmen. So that's kind of a time where you can meet all the 1st year students like in your building. There's a whole bunch of socials that UNH puts on for the 1st years so they can meet people. For me, obviously, I haven't had time in this building to like go out and like meet people, but I did need a trash bag like the 1st week I moved in here. So I just knocked on the door across the hallway and I was like, "Hi, I'm new. Can I like borrow a trash bag?" They're like, yeah, that's fine. So it's for me, like I just think like if you're nice and you have your door open, or even if you have your door closed and you're just out and about and just say hi to people, that definitely makes a huge difference. And even that little hi can just be like, "Hey, you want to get like lunch one day?" And yeah, that's how I met my friends in my other building. This is the first floor lounge. So this has a ping pong table slash pool table underneath. It's like detachable. There's a TV. People play Mario Kart down here. So that's like the socials that they put on here. They do Mario Kart down here. And then there's a piano to your left and a whole bunch of games and like books that you can take out and play with your friends. Obviously, there's hand sanitizer on the table and sanitizing wipes like kind of on that. What's it called? I don't even know, but there's sanitizing wipes right here. Are there any other questions?
No, we have not gotten any.
Okay.
So if maybe we're just gonna head up to our next stop, which we're gonna walk over to health and wellness.
Okay. So Fairchild is like placed really nicely at UNH. We're right downtown. So as you can see, like when you walk outside, there's all of the coffee shops and like pizza places, and campus convenience, which is like a book exchange if you need a book. And we also have a Hannaford on campus, which is a supermarket. We have a Rite Aid on campus, and we have like Domino's and all that, also all downtown. My favorite place is Breaking New Grounds. I actually got breakfast there this morning. So I got a croissant and this thing called April Showers, which is wicked good.
So Sabrina, someone wants to know how many classes do freshmen usually have a day, and how far are your classes from your residence hall?
Yeah, so freshmen, I was kind of I don't know what I was thinking last semester. I took 18 credits worth of classes last semester, which can be a good and a bad thing, which is how I'm kind of like, because I did that though, I am like an upperclassman technically. I'm a sophomore, and the next semester I'll be a junior. So with that said, it really all depends on like the discoveries, which are like your gen eds here, and what your advisor thinks is best for you or what you think is best for yourself. So luckily for me, I didn't have to go through the process of like scramming to like get a class. My advisor did it all for me my first year or my first semester, and all I had to take were my gen eds, which are my discoveries. So all really depends. My last semester and this semester, so I'll just talk about this semester because my schedule's so fresh in my head. Mondays and Wednesdays, I have 3 classes a day, but they're pretty spread out in the day. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have 2 classes, and they end at 12, which I'm really lucky. And then on Fridays, I only have 1 class that ends at 10. So it really all just depends. And luckily for me, so my classes are pretty spread out. I have 2 hybrid classes, not hybrid, 2 completely Zoom classes, 1 class only in person, and then 1 class where it's hybrid. So you can really choose. Luckily for me, my only 2 classes that I have in person are like 2 buildings away from me. So my walk is like 2 minutes. So I was really lucky. Last semester though, I did have to walk like 7 minutes away. And that's kind of like a farther walk for me. The cool thing about UNH though is that if you open Apple Maps or Google Maps and just type the building that you want to go to, it will bring you right to that building. So that actually saved me a lot of time trying to figure out where my buildings were.
Also, a very UNH sentence is you saying that you had a long walk that was 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Some universities, a long walk is like 20 minutes, but for us, we're like, oh man, like that building's so far, it's 7 minutes away. So we're very lucky to be so walkable. And like Sabrina said, 7 minutes is about your longest walk. Campus edge to edge is about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how fast you walk. Whether, like Sabrina said, some of her classes were 2 minutes away from her dorm, so you can plan that and live near certain buildings. But absolutely, like worst case scenario, it's just going to be like a 10-minute walk.
The buses also run always. So there's this thing, we have a UNH app, so it like shows you the live route of every single bus that's coming. So you can time like when you want to hop on a bus and get to the other side of campus if you need to, which I think is very convenient. Like I go to my friends' dorms all the time, back all the way over there, and I take the bus because I don't want to walk. So are there any other questions before I move on to health and wellness?
Yeah, we actually have a question that someone is asking about high school credits and asking if you could
Yeah.
transfer like college credits from your high school. I'm gonna put a link in the chat to our admissions page, and I would totally encourage this person to talk to an admissions counselor about specifically what transfers for them. But Sabrina, if you want to just talk about like your experience with transferring credits.
Yeah, so I was in high school. I had dual enrollment classes. So my senior year, I took AP Stats. So I could either take the AP test or I could do dual enrollment, which is just enrolling through my local community college. And I actually got credits transferred over. So I guess the difference between like AP classes, so AP scores, you have to score a certain amount for the credits to transfer over. So for example, if you took the AP Psych exam, you need a 4 at UNH to get credit for it. So that's where you don't have to take Psych 101. So for me, if you do it through your local community college, you really don't have to worry about what score you get. I know for us, we just have to average a C plus or better in the class to get credit for it. But that's just my experience. I would absolutely check out the admissions page because I don't know enough about it to talk about it. But I also took a summer class over the summer at UNH for my English 401 credit. So that's how I entered college with 8 credits, and then how I'm a sophomore this semester. Any
Yeah,
other questions?
no, that's an awesome explanation. So I'm going to paste in a link to our application checklist and requirements. And on here, it does list some more information about that. But like Sabrina said, I would definitely try to contact your admissions counselor, or there's a chat feature on the admissions website. So you can definitely look into that. But I'm going to let you go, Sabrina. You can talk a little bit about where we are on campus.
Okay, so we're at Health and Wellness right now. This is like the doctor's office on campus. So you can, right now for COVID, they actually split it up between sick people. So like the sick people go through in the back. So just in case like anybody's exposed to COVID, we really don't want to contaminate anybody else, I guess. And then the front part is like where people that aren't sick go in. We also have a pharmacy on campus, like inside of there. So if you want to transfer like any prescriptions that you have over here, it's super convenient and you can just pick them up. Um, Inside, like I said, it's like real doctors and they check you out. And we also, because of COVID, we have our own COVID lab on the second floor. So each student has to test twice a week according to like their college, like what college they're in on campus. So for me, because I'm in the College of Health and Human Services, I test Mondays and Thursdays before noon. That is my time. We'll probably pass a COVID drop-off box at some point. So I'll show you what that looks like. But because we have our own lab on campus, our turnaround time is actually very fast. And that way, UNH knows like who's exposed to COVID and they can get them into our 2 quarantine buildings on campus. We have an isolation building and a quarantine building. So you don't really have to worry about like going home to quarantine if you're living on campus, which I think is very nice of UNH. They do still like give you food and stuff also. You're not just like trapped there. Am I missing anything about like health and wellness at all?
No, I would just add there is a pharmacy inside as well. So I know one time I went with a cough when I was a first year student a couple years ago, and I actually got a prescription filled for my cough right inside. Or if you have any long-term prescriptions that you're taking with you to college, there is a Rite Aid downtown, but there also is that pharmacy right in Health and Wellness on campus. So you can fill your prescriptions there.
Okay. All right, so we're going into the Paul College of Business and Economics right now. And this is super big and cool building with lots of windows. I'm gonna try to be a little bit quiet now because there are classes going around and people working in the common area, but this is kind of what a lot of the buildings on campus look like. There's like work areas like kind of in the middle. There are classrooms to like your left. This one has a student lounge, which I think is really cool. I didn't know it was there. And like these are the stairs. Super cool looking. Do you have any questions about like academics so far?
No questions about academics so far, but that is a good point. I would encourage anybody, if you have questions about the discovery program, your advisor, how to choose classes, Sabrina, maybe you want to talk a little bit about the Discovery Program. I know that is usually a pretty popular question that we get.
Yeah, so there's this thing called DegreeWorks, which is like kind of like what you need to graduate. So for me, like next semester, I have to fulfill my fine arts credit. So like there's a lot of options. You can just go to the catalog, and in the catalog, there's like you can break it up and be like, oh, I need my fine arts credit. What classes can I take to fulfill this requirement? And so this semester, my discovery classes I actually have one, and it's intro to fiction writing, and it's super fun because like I love writing for the most part, and it's writing about stuff that I want to write about. So I'm not really into like research. So that is why I picked like more of a fiction writing type route, because I really did not want to worry about researching, because that is not my thing. So for me though, none of my classes are in this building because I am not a business student. So if you're a business student on campus, all of your business classes are going to be in this building. So like the Paul College is its own college like branch. So I'm in the College of Health and Human Services. I haven't had any in-person classes for health and human services yet, so I can't really talk about like my classes for that specific college, but I did have my lab last semester, and that was in Spalding, which is actually going, they're renovating it right now, and it's like an $86 million renovation and an expansion. So if you're into science and you want a brand new building, come here. I can talk about like the advisors and stuff like that, because that is one of the most important things to me.
Yeah, we actually got a question. Someone wants to know when you get your advisor and also when do you pick your classes. So if you just want to touch on those.
Yeah, so coming from like a first year standpoint, your advisor gets assigned to you once you commit to the college and you're admitted to the college, or you're admitted to the university, and then whatever college that you did get admitted to, you'll get an advisor assigned to you according to like the major slash like not major if you're undeclared, that you like applied to. So for me, I was undeclared last semester and this semester, so I have an undeclared advisor for like specialists, like getting to know like what you want to do in your life. So I can talk about that a little bit more. I came into college wanting to be a nurse, and I was like so positive that I wanted to be a nurse. And I told my advisor that, and first year students, your advisor picks like your core classes for you. So because I told him that I wanted to be a nurse, he put me in anatomy, just these very sciencey classes. So turns out that I don't want to be a nurse. I actually was so terrible at anatomy, but because of that awakening, I actually was like, maybe I'll transfer into Paul College. Like maybe I'll go the business route. Completely forgetting that like Paul is like one of the best business schools in the country, and I've only taken one business class in my entire high school career. So I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? So I talked to my advisor, and I was like, look, I really like talking, I really like leading, and I want to go into like business in hospitals. He's like, you know, we have a major for that on campus, right? I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, it's like in CHHS, so you don't have to transfer out of CHHS. I was like, perfect. So this semester, I picked classes for my major. So I'm taking Intro to Public Health, the United States healthcare system, and finite math. Those are the three classes that I needed to take to get into the program. So that's what I'm doing right now. But if it wasn't for my
that you're switching into
health management and policy.
Awesome. Well, congrats on finding it. That's so exciting.
Thanks. I was kind of having like a little bit of a mental breakdown, but that's why your advisors are there for you. And that's why we have like a whole bunch of resources on campus to help you with that as well. I guess it's a good segue to go into Smith.
Yeah. So I'll talk a little bit about how I picked my classes too. Just because I already had a major declared, it is a little bit different, but very similar to Sabrina's experience. So as a declared major, all of the first year students in your major are all going to be taking the same core classes. So for me, as a life sciences student, that was introduction to biology, chemistry, and then we had one slot that we could fill with one of those discovery classes that Sabrina was talking about. So I used my social science that semester.
Okay.
And then you can actually get matched with your advisor, like Sabrina said. So if you want guidance on what to pick, you can talk to them. But I think a pretty common experience is that a lot of your classes are those core classes, the things that everybody needs to take as they start out in your major. So you're not going to walk into campus and have to pick every class from a book. You're going to have a lot of guidance, and there is going to be a lot of common courses throughout every first year student in your major.
Yeah, also like while you're picking discoveries, you go through that process with your advisor. So you kind of get a feel for what it's going to look like when you have to pick your own classes the next semester. So if it wasn't for my advisor though, like I really just don't know where I'd be. I probably would be in Paul, to be honest, but I'm glad that I stayed in PhD because I really do love my major, or my almost major.
So Sabrina, just for a time check, it is 11:45, just so you know. So we do have 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
Um, but can you maybe talk about what your favorite class has been so far at UNH?
Yeah, so I took this class last semester called Making Babies. And what Making Babies is, so that's a class all about like, I guess, how babies are made, but like not just like how babies are made, but like what goes inside a woman's body once she's about to give birth, during pregnancy, the different ways that you can deliver a baby. And honestly, that was super. And we also talked a lot about hormones and stuff like that, which was super eye-opening for me because it got to like tell me what my body was like and how that whole process would be for me. And that kind of inspired me to maybe go into like public health and like women's health and like definitely work on some of the things that they've been doing for women's health and hopefully like reforming it a little bit. So that's kind of where I found my passion for that. All right. Any other questions before I move on to Smith Hall?
No, none so far.
All right. So this is Smith Hall. This is home to admissions. So all the admissions counselors are in there. So kind of scary, but so inside we offer 3 student services. We have PACS, which is the psychological and counseling service, and that's if you're dealing with like anxiety, depression. There are counselors that can help you, like psychologists that can help you, and you have 10 visits included into your tuition. So like if you want to set up an appointment and you're kind of worried about money a little bit, it's included in your tuition, so you don't have to worry about paying like a copay or anything. You can also like get a telehealth call, and right now they're on Zoom or in person, depending on like how the psychologist is feeling about like what they want to do with their offices. We also have student accessibility services, so that's if you have like any mental disability or physical disability, or if you broke an arm or a leg. So what this service can do is that they can help you get accommodation. So whether that's getting extra help on or not help, not extra help on a test, extra time on a test, they can absolutely get you that. Or if you break your wrist, they can get you a student note taker in your class, so you won't have to worry about taking notes, because that's going to be hard if you're righty and then you break your right wrist. Or if you break your leg, you can get somebody to take you around campus from class to class, which I think is super funny and super cool, because I would hate to walk around campus if my leg was broken. And then finally, we have CFAR, which is the Center for Academic Resources. And what this program or service can do is it can help you with study skills. It can help you with time management. For me, it helped me with anatomy because they had group sessions. So people know that anatomy is a hard class. So they do their best to help you as much as you can. They're there to help you. So what they did, they set up study groups and they set up like study guides for you, which means that you're not completely in the dark during the exam. And I thought that was wicked helpful because I was struggling in that class like a lot. So with CFAR, I was able to understand the material a lot more and understand the tissue types, because that just trips me up every time. Any questions about Smith Hall at all?
No, I would, maybe you guys can hop off now, and then we have about 10 minutes left. So if you
Okay.
want to hustle on over to the rec center, and then I can meet you
Yeah.
guys to sign back on.
Okay. All right. We'll do that.
Okay, cool.
So sign off and we'll run to the gym.
All right. So I thought that maybe how I could spend our time when we're waiting for Sabrina and Laura to hop back on is maybe talk about orientation, since that's something that you guys might have a lot of questions about. Feel free to cut me off with specific questions though at any time. So when I went to orientation, I actually was able to go in person since it was a couple years ago, where Sabrina's class had an online orientation. So because I was able to go in person, there's two options. You can either go overnight or you can just go for the day. I went overnight because I wanted like the full experience, and also just because I'm like about a 7 hour drive away. So it just made sense to stay overnight. But we stayed in a dorm, which is cool. So you get to actually live in a dorm for the first time. And you get a roommate that you can actually either pick or just go random. Mine was just random. And I lived in the one of the first year only dorms, Williamson, which is Williamson and Christian Center right next to each other. In my year, that's actually where everyone lived when we were there for orientation. But the big thing at night is that you go into the rec center, which we're going to see in a minute, and they had the like bubble soccer. You put that like big bubble on and run around. They had like bouncy houses, free food, all this fun stuff for us to just like get to meet people and have fun. And then you have the Become the Roar event at night. So you run under the T Hall arches, which is that like famous UNH building, and they line it with candles, and all the professors and orientation leaders and the president of the university, and they're all cheering, and the T Hall bells are going off. And as you're running underneath the arches, they paint footprints going in and paw prints coming out. So you like become a wildcat as you go through, which if you ever listen to us tour guides talk enough, you'll realize there's a lot of those cheesy traditions at UNH, but it's what makes it so much fun. It really makes our community feel so much stronger and closer. So definitely look out for those. But orientation was fun. And on like the practical side, during the day, we actually met in our cohorts of our colleges. So that's liberal arts, health and human services, life sciences and agriculture, business, or engineering and physical sciences. And we actually got to talk to the dean of our college, which was really cool. But that's also where course selection happened for me personally. So I was able to pick that fourth class as my discovery. And I got to see that I was already slotted to be in biology, chemistry, and an introductory class to my major. So then I just got to pick that fourth one, and that's all I had to do. You also get your ID at orientation, which is super exciting. I was very nervous to take my picture. I don't know why, but they print your ID out for you right there, so you get to go home with it, which made me really feel like I was finally going to college, which is super exciting. But we also just dropped the link in the chat if you want to connect with an admissions counselor. So that's an awesome place to go, because as amazing as us tour guides are, there are some questions that are kind of above our pay grade, considering that we are volunteers. So if you have questions about financial aid, if you're in high school, so if you're like a sophomore, junior, and you're like, should I take like AP Calc next year, or what should I take next year? That's definitely something that you can talk to them about. Or if you just have questions about what you want to major in, or what program you want to apply for, anything at all about UNH, they will definitely be able to be your awesome contact for that. So I see some questions in the chat. So first I'll talk about when is orientation. So my year, I can talk about specifically. I'm not sure about this year, but I remember there was a bunch of dates that you could choose from. Personally, I believe mine was in June, and I think that they were like June, July. I don't quote me on that, but mine personally was in June. So it was like the summer before we went to college. There's a bunch of dates you could choose from since there's so many of us. So if you have friends, you could like choose the same date as your friend if you want. And then someone else asked, will it be in person this year? Isn't that the question? So I think if you asked me this question last year at this time, I would have been like, oh my gosh, totally, like this whole thing is going to go by, like we're not even going to remember talking about it. So I think that a big motto for that kind of a question is that who knows. So our president did actually announce that we're going to be 100% like back on campus next semester, which is awesome. So according to the plan right now is that we are going to be back on person. We're going to have in-person classes. And we're just going to follow CDC guidelines past that. So CDC is going to tell us about mask protocols and testing protocols. And hopefully there's going to be a lot of us vaccinated by then that'll impact those as well. So those are kind of the variables. But for now, he has announced that we're going to be back on campus in the fall. So for all of you that are maybe high school seniors out there, or just students that are looking to enroll this fall, you can definitely look forward to being here. As of right now, the plan is to be back on campus, which is so exciting. But that is perfect timing. So we have Laura and Sabrina back, and they are in our recreation center. So for our last 5 minutes, I'm going to hand it over to you guys to maybe give us a little tour.
Okay, so we're again at the Hamel Rec Center, which is a gym on campus. It was renovated, like completely renovated in 2016. So all of the equipment is pretty new and like it's just pretty sick in here. We can kind of show them like the basketball courts and stuff like that. So it is kind of confusing at first because it has multiple floors and stuff like that. So it can get a little confusing, but I think like at any university, I would just take the time to get to know the place before you work out because it can be kind of intimidating. That just makes the process go a little bit easier. But we have multiple like weight rooms here. So this is like one of them. And then this is like our basketball court slash our volleyball court. And we also have like racquetball and table tennis that you can do in here as well. Those are like separate rooms that you can rent out. Yeah, and I don't know how well you can see, but there is like a floor above the basketball courts, and that has like all of like the length stuff pretty much. So like stair steppers, like treadmills and all that. And then there's also lockers to our left. So like cool if you have any more information on this. I'm not sure if you can like route locks for the lockers. I don't know if that's a thing that they have here.
You can bring locks as long as they're just there, like while you're in the gym. You can't leave stuff there permanently, but for like a couple hours while you're working out, you can bring a lock.
Yeah. It's kind of busy right now, so I apologize if we're not showing this much. We just don't want to make people uncomfortable. But there are also multiple like bathrooms, and there's also showers in the gym. So if you want to shower in the gym, like you can absolutely do that. You can get like yoga mats, and a system that we have at the gym right now is when you come in, you take a spray bottle and a rag. So you wipe down all of your equipment before and after you use it, just so the next person can use it and it's not like gross and sweaty. And we just really want to limit the amount of spread there is on campus. So I'm going to wrap it up now. Thank you for coming on my little tour. If there's any questions, I can answer them right now. Any remaining questions?
None right now.
Okay. All right. Okay. Wait, what?
Tell her she can end the Zoom.
Oh, okay. You're good to end the Zoom meeting then.
All right. Thank you so much, Sabrina. Thank you everybody for just signing on today. And we've really enjoyed being able to talk to all of you.